There comes a point in life where you feel like everybody walked away, family turned their back, friends disappeared, people you thought you could trust went silent. And in those moments, you start to wonder, am I out here all by myself? But the truth is, you were never alone. God was standing in the shadows, keeping you covered when no one else even checked on you. Some of you can look back right now and remember times when you didn't have anybody to call, anybody to lean on, and somehow you still made it through. That wasn't luck, that wasn't chance, that was God. He was walking with you, carrying you, even when you didn't notice. You only survived because He never left your side. The devil loves to make you believe abandonment means isolation, but it's a lie. Just because people left doesn't mean God left. People can walk out of your life without warning, but God is the one constant who will never abandon you. His presence is steady, unshakable, unmovable. It's not about feelings either. You might not always feel Him there. Your emotions will play tricks on you, but God's presence doesn't move with your feelings. His promise says, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." That's not a temporary contract, that's eternal commitment. You think those nights when you cried yourself to sleep, no one heard you, but God heard every tear, every sigh, every whisper you couldn't even form into words. He was right there, keeping your mind when it was close to breaking. The reason you didn't lose your mind, the reason you didn't collapse under the pressure, is because God was walking with you. He stood between you and what was trying to destroy you. He blocked the blow, He shielded the attack, and you lived to see another day because He never walked away. And if He never left you before, why would He leave you now? You may not see Him with your eyes, but you will see the evidence of His presence in the way you keep rising after every fall. We confuse hard times with abandonment. The minute life gets rough, we start asking, "God, where are you?" But you don't realize, hard times are proof He's right there. Pressure doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to develop you. Think about a diamond. It only becomes a diamond through pressure. Gold has to go through fire before it shines. A seed has to be buried in dirt before it grows. Why do you think your life should be any different? God lets you go through it because He knows what's inside of you. If you didn't have potential, you wouldn't be under attack. If there wasn't greatness inside you, life wouldn't try to break you down. Hard times don't mean God left. They mean He's preparing you for something bigger. We pray for strength, but strength is only built through resistance. We pray for faith, but faith is only proven in uncertainty. We pray for blessings, but blessings are only appreciated after lack. That's why God doesn't always remove the storm. He walks with you through it. Stop assuming silence means absence. Stop assuming struggle means abandonment. When it hurts the most, that's when He's the closest. You might not see Him, but you'll notice you didn't drown, you didn't collapse, you didn't lose everything. That's evidence He's been there the whole time. Every tear you shed is water for the seed God planted in you. Every trial is shaping your character. Every storm is building your testimony. If you only knew the weight of the glory that's waiting on the other side, you'd see why the pain was necessary. So don't give up just because it's hard. Don't misinterpret the struggle. Hard times are not punishment, they're preparation. You've been knocking on doors that won't open, sending applications that get ignored, trying to network with people who overlook you, and it makes you think maybe you don't have what it takes. But the truth is, some doors aren't designed for you to open. They're designed for God to open. God doesn't need your resume, your title, or your credentials to qualify you. He walks into rooms you can't get into. He puts your name in the mouths of people you've never met. He creates opportunities you didn't even know existed. While you're stressing over rejection, He's already setting up connections behind the scenes. There are people right now speaking your name in meetings you don't even know about. There are blessings being organized for you in places your feet haven't touched. That's what happens when God walks with you. He goes before you. Stop worrying about who didn't call you back, who didn't give you the chance, who didn't pick you. Their rejection doesn't stop your assignment. Their no doesn't cancel God's yes. What you couldn't make happen in years, God can make happen in a moment. That's why you have to trust His timing. You're frustrated because you're looking at closed doors, but if you wait long enough, you'll realize He's opening a bigger one that you didn't even knock on. The job you thought you needed may not have been your destiny. The people you thought you needed approval from may not have been your gatekeepers. God Himself is the gatekeeper, and when He walks into the room for you, no one can stop what He's about to release in your life. So lift your head because God is already ahead of you, arranging things you couldn't arrange, unlocking doors you couldn't reach, and making ways where there were no ways. Most of the time, you don't even recognize your own strength until life forces it out of you. You keep telling yourself you can't handle it, that it's too much, but look at what you've already come through. You've faced losses, heartbreaks, betrayals, financial struggles, and somehow you're still here. That's not weakness, that's proof of strength. God doesn't put strength in you just for you to sit pretty with it. He places strength in you because He knew you'd face battles. You think it's breaking you, but it's actually revealing how much power you really carry. Every storm you've endured has been a mirror showing you that you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. The enemy's biggest trick is convincing you that you're weak, that you don't have what it takes. He whispers in your ear that you're not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough, but he wouldn't fight you so hard if you weren't dangerous to his plan. You've already beaten odds that were stacked against you. When you wanted to quit, something inside you kept pushing. That wasn't just willpower. That was God's strength inside of you. He carried you when you didn't even want to carry yourself. He gave you the power to stand when you had every reason to stay down. If you look back, you'll realize there were seasons where you thought it was the end of you, yet you came out stronger, wiser, and tougher than before. That's how you know you're built for more than survival. You're built for victory. The truth is, you don't discover strength in comfort zones. You only discover it in the fire, in the pressure, in the pain. God has already deposited in you everything you need to endure, to rise, to win. Stop questioning if you're strong enough. You already proved it with your survival. And the same God that carried you through yesterday's storm will carry you through today's battle. If you made it this far, what makes you think you can't make it further? Some of you feel like you're standing right in the middle of the fire right now. Everything around you feels like it's falling apart. The pressure is overwhelming, and it feels like you're burning up under the weight of it all. But the fire is not designed to destroy you. It's designed to refine you. God never promised to keep you out of the fire. He promised to walk with you in it. If you don't believe me, look at the 3 Hebrew boys thrown into the furnace. They should have been consumed, but instead, the fire revealed the presence of God walking with them. That's exactly what's happening to you. The reason the fire hasn't killed you is because you're not in it alone. God is right there, keeping you intact, holding you together when you should have melted under the heat. You may come out scarred, but you won't come out defeated. And here's the truth about the fire. It burns away what you don't need. It burns off the doubt, the fear, the pride, the relationships that couldn't go where you're going. The fire leaves you lighter, purer, and more focused than before. If you've ever walked out of a season stronger, wiser, and closer to God, then you know the fire didn't fail you. It formed you. What tried to break you actually built you. The fire that should have consumed you became the very testimony that's fueling your faith today. Don't hate the fire. Don't despise it. Without the fire, you wouldn't see the God who walks with you in the middle of it. Without the fire, you wouldn't see your own resilience. Without the fire, you wouldn't have the story that proves survival is possible. So if you're in the flames right now, don't panic. You're not being burned, you're being built. And when you come out, you'll shine brighter than ever before. Fear is a master liar. It will whisper to you that you're not good enough, that you're going to fail, that everyone is against you. Fear magnifies problems and minimizes God. And the sad truth is, too many people spend their lives believing fear over faith. Fear will paralyze you from moving forward. It will have you sitting on opportunities God already gave you. It will convince you to settle when you were designed to soar. Fear doesn't come from God. It comes from the enemy. God said He gave you power, love, and a sound mind, not fear. If you're not careful, fear will become the loudest voice in your head. It'll drown out your prayers. It'll shut down your confidence. It'll even make you sabotage blessings that were meant for you. That's why you've got to be intentional about silencing fear with faith. You don't silence fear by pretending it's not there. You silence it by standing on truth louder than the lie. Every time fear says you can't, you remind yourself God says you can. Every time fear says you're alone, you remind yourself God walks with you. Every time fear says it's over, you remind yourself God says it's just the beginning. Fear feeds off your agreement. As long as you agree with it, it grows. But the moment you stop agreeing and start declaring faith instead, fear loses its grip. That's why speaking life over yourself matters. That's why prayer matters. That's why believing what God says about you matters more than anything. The scariest thing about fear is that it will keep you living beneath your potential. It will keep you stuck in safe zones, never taking risks, never stepping into your full calling. But the life God designed for you is bigger than fear's limitations. So the next time fear shows up, don't entertain it. Don't give it room to control your steps. Fear is not your guide. God is. There are seasons when you pray and it feels like heaven is closed. You're begging for answers, looking for signs, and it seems like God has gone quiet. And the first thought you have is, maybe He's not here. But silence doesn't mean absence. It often means strategy. When God is silent, He's not ignoring you. He's working behind the scenes in ways you can't see. He's setting up connections, shifting circumstances, moving people in and out of your life, all while you're sitting there wondering why you can't hear Him. Silence is a test of trust. Anybody can trust God when He's speaking loudly, but can you trust Him when He's whispering? Can you trust Him when He's not answering the way you expected? Can you trust Him when the blueprint isn't in your hand but in His? God's silence forces you to rely on faith, not feelings. Feelings will fool you. Feelings will tell you He's not there. But faith says, even when I can't hear Him, I know He's still walking with me. Think about your own life. Some of the biggest blessings came after seasons of silence. You didn't see it coming, you didn't hear it coming, and then suddenly the breakthrough arrived. That's because silence was never absence, it was preparation. The enemy wants you to panic in silence. He wants you to think you've been forgotten. But the truth is, silence is God's way of working without interruption. You may not hear Him, but you'll see the results soon enough. So if you're in a quiet season right now, don't lose heart. Quiet seasons are often the loudest evidence of God's hand at work. Sometimes the greatest blessings in your life are the things God blocked that you never knew about. You're upset about a relationship that didn't work, a job that turned you down, an opportunity that slipped through your fingers. You think you lost something, but what you don't realize is God was protecting you from a trap you couldn't see. Think about how many times you begged for something only to look back years later and say, "Thank God I didn't get that." That person you cried over might have broken you. That job you wanted so badly might have drained you. That door you thought you needed might have destroyed you. God saw ahead, and He shut it down before it could ruin you. We see what's in front of us, but God sees the whole picture. He sees the danger, the betrayal, the pitfalls that we don't. That's why some of His greatest answers to prayer are disguised as no's. He's not punishing you. He's protecting you. The truth is, you don't need every yes. You just need God's yes, because His yes comes with peace, provision, and purpose. Anything He denies is because it didn't align with His plan for your life. When you trust His protection, you stop being bitter about closed doors. You stop being angry over rejections. You start thanking Him for every no because you realize it was saving you from something you couldn't see. Some of the battles you're fighting are visible, but some of the greatest victories are the ones you didn't even know you won because God fought them before they ever reached you. He blocked attacks, canceled plots, and dismantled plans the enemy set against you. So instead of asking, why didn't it happen? Start asking, what did you protect me from, Lord? Because if you could see the danger He shielded you from, you'd be praising Him like crazy. When you know God is walking with you, your entire posture changes. You stop shrinking yourself down to fit people's opinions. You stop apologizing for being blessed. You stop second-guessing your worth. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's knowing who's covering you. Too many people walk around defeated, heads down, shoulders slouched, as if they don't have the Creator of the universe backing them. But when you realize God is by your side, you can stand tall in the face of any challenge. You can walk boldly into rooms where others counted you out. Confidence is contagious. People treat you how you treat yourself. If you carry yourself like you're defeated, people will handle you like you're defeated. But when you walk with confidence, knowing God's hand is on you, even your enemies will have to respect you. Don't confuse humility with insecurity. Being humble doesn't mean you have to act like you're nothing. God didn't call you to hide. He called you to shine. He called you to represent Him, and that requires walking with a certain level of boldness. Every step you take with God is a step toward destiny. You're not walking blindly, you're walking with purpose. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone because the evidence of His favor will speak louder than your words ever could. Confidence doesn't mean you won't face fear. It means you don't let fear dictate your moves. You keep moving, knowing that even if you stumble, God will steady you. You keep pushing forward because you trust the one who guides your steps. So walk like you're chosen. Walk like you're covered. Walk like you know God Himself is walking beside you. Because when you move with that kind of confidence, the atmosphere shifts everywhere you go. Every pain you've ever endured has a purpose. The heartbreak, the rejection, the failures, they weren't wasted. God is a master at taking what hurt you and turning it into what heals someone else. Sometimes the very thing you thought would destroy you ends up being the very thing that defines you. That sickness you survived will be the testimony that gives someone else hope. That setback you bounced back from will be the encouragement someone else needed to keep going. Pain has a way of breaking us open, but it also has a way of revealing gifts we didn't know we had. Some of your greatest talents, strengths, and wisdom came out of seasons of struggle. Without the pain, you wouldn't have discovered the power inside of you. We love to pray for purpose, but we don't realize purpose is often born in pain. Comfort never produces calling. Ease never produces anointing. It's the struggle that unlocks the depth of who you are. Think about it. Your scars aren't ugly. They're proof of survival. They're proof you didn't give up when you could have. They're proof that God's hand was on you the whole time. Someone else is waiting to see those scars so they know healing is possible. If you run from pain, you might miss your purpose. If you avoid struggle, you might forfeit your testimony. God doesn't waste anything. The same thing that broke your heart may be the thing that saves somebody else's life. So instead of asking, why me? Start asking, what's this teaching me? Who am I going to help with this? Because when you see pain through the lens of purpose, you realize it's never wasted. There are people who think they control your destiny. They think their opinion decides if you succeed. They think their position gives them power over your future. But let me remind you, God doesn't need anybody's permission to bless you. If He says it's yours, it's yours. It doesn't matter who doesn't. To like it, who doubts it, who tries to block it. God's favor is not up for a vote. It's not a democracy. It's divine authority. Some folks will get mad when they see you blessed. They'll say, you don't deserve it, you're not qualified, you don't measure up. And the truth is, they might be right by man's standards, but God doesn't bless based on man's standards. He blesses based on His grace. Stop worrying about who approves of you. Stop waiting for people to clap for you. Some of the very ones who doubt you will be forced to watch God elevate you in front of them. The truth is, God's blessings don't fit into human logic. He can take someone overlooked and make them the one chosen. He can take someone unqualified and make them the leader. He can take someone broken and make them a testimony of restoration. So when God opens the door, don't waste time explaining it to people who can't understand it. They don't have to get it. They don't have to like it. They don't have to agree. What God said over your life is final. And when He blesses you, He does it so big that no one can deny His hand is on you. Life has a way of making you feel like you're in the fight all by yourself. Bills coming at you, depression weighing you down, sickness trying to break you. It feels like you're standing in the ring with no backup. But the truth is, you're not fighting alone. God is in the fight with you. Every punch you throw has His strength behind it. Every battle you face, He's right there in the corner, coaching you, strengthening you, keeping you from giving up. If it was just you, you would have quit a long time ago. If it was just you, the pressure would have crushed you. The only reason you're still standing is because there's a power greater than you holding you up. Don't mistake exhaustion for weakness. Even strong people get tired. But when you're tired, God steps in with supernatural strength. He'll give you peace in the middle of chaos, hope in the middle of despair, and endurance when you thought you were done. Every giant you faced, you didn't face it alone. God was there, guiding the stone like He did with David, making sure it hit the target. That's why you've seen victories that didn't even make sense. You're not in this ring by yourself. Heaven is backing you up. Angels are fighting on your behalf. God Himself is standing with you. And when He's in the fight, you cannot lose. So stop walking like you're defeated. You've got the greatest fighter in history walking with you, and with Him in your corner, the victory is already guaranteed. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to wait. We want everything now. We want the promotion now, the breakthrough now, the relationship now. But God doesn't operate on our timetable. His timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed. Sometimes God withholds what you're asking for because you're not ready for it yet. If He gave it to you too soon, it could crush you instead of bless you. Preparation always comes before manifestation. Think about it. You don't hand a car to a child just because they want it. They have to grow, learn, and mature before they can handle it. The same is true for your prayers. God will never give you something you're not ready to manage. Waiting doesn't mean denial. It means development. While you're waiting, He's building your character. While you're waiting, He's teaching you discipline. While you're waiting, He's shaping you into the person who can handle the blessing when it comes. The enemy will try to convince you that waiting means God forgot about you. But waiting is not punishment, it's preparation. It's God making sure you're equipped for what's ahead. And when the timing is right, things will align so perfectly that you'll know it was God. You won't have to force it, beg for it, or manipulate it. The blessing will meet you at the right place, at the right time, in the right season. So don't despise the wait. Trust the process. If God hasn't released it yet, it's because He's still preparing you for it. Life is full of seasons, and not all of them are meant to last forever. Some of you are stuck because you're trying to hold on to a season God is trying to walk you out of. You keep watering dead things, trying to revive relationships, opportunities, or habits that God already closed the chapter on. When God walks you into a new season, He doesn't always give you a warning. Sometimes He shifts things suddenly. People walk away, doors close, circumstances change, and your first reaction is confusion. But it's not rejection, it's redirection. You can't step into the new if you keep clinging to the old. That's why some people couldn't go with you into this next chapter. They weren't meant to. God isn't punishing you by removing them. He's protecting your growth. New seasons require new mindsets. You can't carry old thinking into fresh opportunities. You can't carry bitterness, fear, or doubt into the place God is trying to take you. That's why He strips things away before elevating you. It may hurt when people leave, but every loss isn't a tragedy. Sometimes it's a transition. Sometimes God subtracts before He multiplies. Sometimes He closes a door so you'll stop wasting time in the wrong room. When you finally step into the new season, you'll realize why the old one had to end. You'll see why the relationships had to fade, why the opportunities had to die, why the doors had to close. So stop fighting to stay where God already moved on from. Walk with Him boldly into the new season because what's ahead is always greater than what's behind. Loss is one of the hardest parts of life. Losing time, losing opportunities, losing relationships, it can make you feel like you'll never get back what you had. But God is a restorer. He doesn't just replace what you lost. He can give you back more than you ever imagined. Restoration doesn't always look the way you expect. Sometimes He restores with better relationships, greater opportunities, or deeper peace than what you lost. His restoration is always an upgrade. Think about Job. He lost everything, but God restored double what he had before. That's the kind of God you serve. He doesn't just repair, He multiplies. He doesn't just give back, He elevates. Your loss wasn't the end of your story. It was a setup for restoration. You thought it was over, but God has a way of resurrecting what looks dead. He can breathe life back into dreams you buried, into confidence you lost, into hope you thought was gone forever. Don't let bitterness over loss make you blind to restoration. What you lost may have hurt, but what God is preparing is going to heal. Restoration isn't about going back to what you had. It's about moving into something greater. It's about realizing that what's ahead will make up for everything you thought you missed. So don't cry over what's gone too long. God is a redeemer of time, opportunities, and broken places. And when He restores, He makes it so beautiful you'll forget the pain of the loss. Nothing in your life has been wasted. Every wrong turn, every delay, every mistake, it's all part of the path God laid out for you. Your steps are ordered, even the ones that didn't make sense. You look back and think, I should have gone left instead of right. But the truth is, even in your detours, God was guiding you. He used the wrong turns to teach you lessons you needed for the right path. Your failures didn't cancel your purpose. Your delays didn't deny your destiny. Everything is woven into God's plan. That's why you don't need to live in regret. He's already factored your mistakes into your future. Think about it. Joseph's brothers sold him. Potiphar's wife lied on him. He ended up in prison. None of it made sense at the time, but all of it was necessary to put him in the position God designed for him. His steps were ordered, even through betrayal and setbacks. The same is true for you. What you thought was random was intentional. What you thought was wasted was part of the plan. God doesn't waste steps. Stop doubting your path. Stop regretting your past. If God is walking with you, then every step you've taken is leading you closer to destiny. So trust that where you are right now is not an accident. It's alignment. And the one who ordered your steps will never lead you astray. Victory isn't about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. Life will knock you down. Circumstances will hit you hard. But with God walking with you, defeat is only temporary. Victory is already written into your story. The enemy wants you to believe your losses define you. But the truth is, every loss is just a setup for a greater win. Every failure is just fuel for your comeback. Victory isn't about perfection. It's about perseverance. When God walks with you, even your setbacks are setups. He turns what was meant for evil into good. He flips the script on the enemy. The very thing designed to break you becomes the testimony that elevates you. You've already won battles you thought you couldn't survive. That's proof that victory is your portion. You don't have to wait for a trophy or applause. The fact that you're still standing is victory. Victory doesn't always come overnight. Sometimes it's a process. Sometimes it looks like small wins that build into major breakthroughs. But as long as God is walking with you, the outcome is secure. Your job is not to figure out how. It's to keep walking, keep trusting, keep fighting, keep believing. Because with every step, you're walking closer to the victory God already promised you. And when that victory shows up, it won't just be for you. It'll be proof to everyone watching that God walks with His people, and nothing can stop the one He covers.